Thank you, everybody. It's wonderful to be here today. It's my first visit to Korea. I arrived yesterday. Yes? Well, thank you very much. Goodbye. So, no, there was a lovely warm round of applause. It was like it was the end or something. It's brilliant to meet you. Like you, I'm a teacher. I'm from Britain, but I work in Japan. I've also worked in Singapore. And for most of my career, I've worked with young and very young learners. Right now, I teach in the junior and the senior high school in Japan. But first, can everybody hear me at the back okay? Yeah, the mic's working. Terrific. Thank you. No, you can't. Well, come closer. Should I speak? Yeah, we're going to turn the volume up. Turn it. How's that? Is that any better? Any better? Worse? I think it's worse, isn't it? I do apologise. How's that at the back? Still no? Yeah. I had breakfast this morning and lunch. Is that okay? Yeah. Great. Okay, thank you guys. Brilliant. Yeah. If I go quiet, wave. Great. Well, I must apologise because I'm not alone today. I brought a friend with me and I have to deal with him right away. Just hang on a second. He's here somewhere. He could be up there actually. He's kind of, there you are. Come on, Bobby. His name's Bobby, he's a lovely guy. Come on, Bobby. Come on, Bobby. Yes, Bobby. There you go. Very shy. Very shy. Come on, Bobby. He's lovely. Hello, Bobby. These are nice people. Yeah. Ooh. So this is Bobby. And I was going to leave him at the hotel, but I didn't think it was really fair. Now, in order that I make the presentation, I wondered if someone could look after Bobby for me, because I can't look after him. But it's okay, no worries. Now, Bobby, you're going to go with these nice people down there. Is there a seat? It's wonderful that so many people came. I'm not sure if there is a seat left, is there? Perhaps you could, would you mind? Is the seat taken? There you are, Bobby. This is a nice little lady. Everybody at the back, there you go. Yeah, he's a little bit shy. He's very well behaved. Thank you, Bobby. Actually, if he sits on the seat, that's probably better. Okay. Good boy. Thank you. Well, he's looking a little bit low. I know what he wants. Exactly what he wants. I had lunch, but Bobby didn't. Yeah. What do you think Bobby's favourite fruit is? Perfect. Well done. There you are. Should we ask him? Say, what's your favourite fruit, Bobby? That's right. My favourite fruit is a banana. That's what would he say if he could speak. What's your favourite fruit? Good. Ask me. And ask my name. So, what's your favourite fruit, Kevin? What's your favourite fruit, Kevin? Now, in case you haven't already met the person next to you, please ask the person next to you, what's your favourite fruit? John, what's your favourite fruit, Mary? He still doesn't look happy. Okay, I know what the problem is. He's not hungry. He wants his favourite toy. Can you guess what his favourite toy is? What do you think? You can ask me. But this time, I can only say yes or no. Ask me any questions, and I can only say yes. Pardon? No. Well, it's Bobby. Does he like no? So you can say no. Okay, I'll tell you. He wants Mr. Penguin. He loves Mr. Penguin. Do you know this song? I believe I can fly. You know that song? R. Kelly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think R. Kelly was channeling penguins when he wrote that song. Here you are, Bobby. His favourite toy, Mr. Penguin. Now it's interesting because penguins don't live in the rainforest, but orangutans do. What other kind of animals live in the rainforest? Any ideas? You tell your friend, it's a big class, so tell your friend some ideas about what other animals live in the rainforest. Okay, and of course, if this was a class, we would get your ideas together. Maybe we would write up a list of animals that we might find in a rainforest, that we wouldn't find in a rainforest, and then we could ask questions like why? Why don't penguins live in the rainforest? It's too hot. Why don't orangutans live where penguins do? It's too cold. Those kind of things. So we're putting context to the story that we're going to read. Now, really, I should tell you the whole story of why I'm here today with Bobby. It's kind of a long story. I'll tell you the whole story. Do you like stories? Yes. So do I. So my presentation is called Make Reading Personal, Relevant, and Fun. What's it called? Great. Now, this is me at the end on this side. And I like this kind of idea of evolutionary stages. We're going to be talking a little bit about evolution today. Now, if we were to really update this picture, the figure would probably be standing with an iPhone and a laptop. So, here we are. Where are we? Rainforest. What kind of animals might we meet in the rainforest? Well, I live next door to an interesting gentleman and a couple of kids. And so this is the story of how I met Bobby. This is Grandpa, and this is Rosie, Rosie's friend, and Ben, the boy called Ben. He's my neighbour. I'm hungry, says Grandpa. What fruit do we have? We have apples and bananas. Sorry, I should stand on this side, then you can hear me better, I think. We have apples and bananas, says Clunk. Clunk is Grandpa's robot. What's the name of Grandpa's robot? Clunk. No thank you, says Grandpa. I want to eat my favourite fruit today. What do you think Grandpa's favourite fruit is? What do you think? Now, if this was a class, maybe I would have you write down on a little whiteboard or somewhere what you think, and then we can read the story and find out if you're right or not. So I'll read the story, but I want you to read the speech bubbles for me. What did Grandpa say? Let's put a gesture to that. I'm hungry. Are you hungry? No. Because you just ate. Rosie is in the kitchen with her friend Alice. What's Rosie's friend's name? Good. What's your favourite fruit, Grandpa? Asks Rosie. Grandpa walks to the door. We can go and find it. Come with me. Can I come too? Asks Ben. And that's when I get involved, because Ben came to my house, he knocked on the door, he said, Mr. Churchley, we're going on an adventure, would you like to come with us? And I thought, great, because I'm a single person, I don't get out much. I thought he was going to the mall or the shopping centre, and I needed to do some shopping, but I wasn't prepared for what happened next. In the van, Grandpa says to Clunk, let's go. Where, Grandpa? Asks Ben. Do you want to go to the store? No, says Grandpa. Clunk starts the van and drives. Now when Clunk starts the van, it goes, g-g-g-g-g. How does it go? G-g-g-g-g. Because it's an old-fashioned car. It's not really, it's not like that. Speech bubble, what did he say? Yeah, do the gesture. Let's go. Great. The van stops in a new place. It's hot here. The children look at the trees and plants. Where are we? Asks Rosie. We're in a rainforest, says Ben. Wow, speech bubble? Brilliant. Now, are we in a rainforest now? Yeah? It's kind of different, isn't it? It's kind of different. So, just to give it a kind of rainforest feel, when we came back from the adventure, I thought no one's ever going to believe me that this happened. I asked Ben to draw a picture. And here's his picture. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so we've got plants here. Of course, it's not been coloured in yet. Actually, if you've got time later, you can colour in from if you would. And Rosie's picture's over here. Brilliant picture. You get some nice picture. Isn't that brilliant? Yeah. Lots of plants, lots of trees. So let's check. Yes, lots of trees and plants. Oh wait, there's a waterfall. Well, I did bring a waterfall. Has anyone seen my waterfall? It's kind of, I can't have got lost. It's big and blue, lots of water. Oh, I think it's at the back, isn't it? There it is. I think I put it, I'm sure it's up there. Let's find out. Let's find out. Here we are. Good afternoon. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it is. Let's have a look. So as much as possible, we're breaking down the boundary between the teacher and the students. Good afternoon. Are you okay at the back? There's lots of room at the front. Ah. What's this? Oh, it's all wet. Waterfall. Here we go. Now, these steps will be wet. So when you come down, be careful you don't slip. Be really careful. Thank you. I feel like I'm ignoring you over here. Hi everyone. I'm sorry, good afternoon. Hello. Thank you. Now, some people like to take a shower in the morning. I never go anywhere without my waterfall. It's much more refreshing. So I'm going to leave it up here too. You can take a brisk, refreshing shower in my waterfall later if you like. Right. Okay, now we continue. My favourite fruit is the durian. Did you guess durian? Did you? Really? We can find it in this rainforest. He and the children walk in the rainforest and look for a durian. Grandpa points up. There, he says. Point with Grandpa. I can see some durians in that tree. He says, there. Good. How many durians? Can you count? Good. Well done. Here we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Sometimes it's fun to make mistakes when you're doing things with the kids. And they kind of believe that you are making a mistake. And if you bring the child up to correct you, it gives them a tremendous sense of success, of empowerment. I can climb up and get some durians, says Ben. Clunk, go up the tree too. Please, says Grandpa. Then the girls hear a noise. What's that? Asks Alice. And the gesture? There's a cage next to a tree. Now this is Bobby might be a bit disturbed at this point. He's looking all right at the moment. Look away, look away. There's a cage next to a tree, and there's an animal in the cage. What's that? Asks Rosie. It's a baby orangutan. Oh, I shed a tear to remember the event, says Grandpa. He's angry. Some people take animals from the rainforest. They can sell young orangutans. Unbelievable. What did Grandpa say? Grandpa opens the cage. Soon the orangutan is in Alice's arms. Don't be scared, she says. He wants his mother, says Rosie. I know the feeling. Baby orangutans live with their mothers for years. They do actually. It's very interesting that the gestation period of orangutan and humans is 9 months. But orangutan babies stay dependent on their mothers for longer than our kids do, till about 6 or 7. What do the girls say? True. 2 men walk out of the trees. That's our orangutan, shouts the tall man. Give him to us. No, says Alice. You can't take him out of the rainforest. It's his home. What does the man say? He says it in an angry voice. That's our orangutan. Oh, you're too nice. You can do a more menacing voice. Try again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, gosh. Yes, that's very good. The men are angry. We want that orangutan and you can't stop us, shouts one man. The 2 men run at Grandpa and the girls. What should we do? Any ideas? We could, but they look big and strong. Then a big durian falls from the tree. It hits the ground close to the men. What's that? Shouts the tall man. I can smell it, says his friend. It smells very bad. Menacing voice? Then 2, 3, 4, a lot of durians hit the ground. Run, shouts the tall man. In the tree, Ben has a durian in his hand. We can stop now, he says to Clunk, because the men run away. What does he say? Brilliant. But what about the baby orangutan? Asks Alice. Rosie points and says, look, the mother orangutan is there. The big orangutan is angry. She wants her baby, says Grandpa. Can you do the angry mother orangutan? Very good, very good. Rosie is scared. What can we do, she asks. Alice knows. She puts the baby orangutan on the ground. Here she says to the big orangutan, with her long arms, the mother takes her baby. Ah. The orangutan climbs up a tree with her baby. They're happy now, says Alice. Ben and Clunk climb down from the tree. Here's your fruit, Grandpa, says Ben. Grandpa opens the fruit. Oh, what a bad smell. Rosie puts her hand on her nose. I can smell it, she says. I love durians, says Grandpa, but they smell bad. So that's the story of how I met Bobby. However, I was hoping for a happy ending. Now, what happened after that? There was a terrible shower of rain, and somehow Bobby got separated from his mom. And we didn't feel it was right to leave him alone in the rainforest, so Grandpa, Rosie, Ben and I and Alice, we got Bobby and we brought him back with us for now. But we've got the people at ePublic looking for Bobby's mom, even as we speak. So hopefully there might be a happy ending to this story. Oh, now, your language teacher's fantastic. You read that story with me very, very well. I'm very impressed. How did you do that? It was brilliant. It was so fast, effortless. Now I'm going to project some words onto the board and I would like you to shout out the words as loud and as quickly as you can. Are you ready? Yes. So, are you ready? So can you do, yes we are. Yes, we are. Are you ready? Yes we are. Fantastic. As fast as you can. Are you, no, there's some hesitation there. But no, that's okay, that's okay. Very good, very good. Gosh. Very good, but getting better. Does anyone know this? Very good, yeah. What do all these, it's one, you're doing very well. So, see, you're decoding these alphabetic letters, but you're not really reading, because what's the meaning? Good, yeah. Probably without that one you might not know, but so reading is more than just decoding. Reading is getting to the meaning. And the mystery of the alphabetic code is how we can help students access the meaning in the system that we use to record speech sounds. Now, oh, hello. I can't read that. Is it okay? It's okay. Great. Yes, indeed, that's cower. And all these words mean... Oh, that was very quick. Yeah, all these words mean river in different languages. Do anyone know the languages? Do you have interest? Of course, Japanese is top right. Ibai is, I think it's Basque. Suba is a language in the Philippines. Umfula is Zulu. Afon is Welsh. And Itiamu, I was only joking, it's not a real word. But it could be, couldn't it? Millions of years ago, thousands of years ago, our ancestors could have looked at the water and said, Itiamu. But they didn't. And when we were one people, we may have spoken a similar language, probably grunts. But we spread out all over the world, and we had similar life experiences like encountering rivers and waterfalls and trees, and we give those things different names depending on the language and the culture that we come from. So, this is just kind of an aside, because the brain is a fantastic piece of kit. You might think Apple X is good, but that's nothing compared with your brain. River takes 5 letters. Kawa in kanji takes 3 strokes of the brush. So really, on one hand, the kanji system is more economic because using the alphabet, we need 3 symbols to represent that idea. However, and if you think of like mountain, again, there's a limited number of strokes to make yama. Mountain has 8 letters. So on the one hand, it seems like a very economic system to have a logographic writing system, a picture. But the problem is that you need lots of pictures to represent lots of things. So in English, we've gone with the alphabet system. We have 26 letters, of course, small case and large case, so maybe 52 if you have to remember them all. But if you've got X and O and W, it's just big and small. So at most, we have to learn 52 letters. And on the one hand, it seems like a great system, but there are about 44 phonemes in English. We use 44 different sounds to speak English, and there are only 26 letters. I don't speak Spanish, but I believe that there are less sounds in Spanish. And so if you've got 26 letters to represent about 26 sounds, you get an easier correspondence between the sound and the letter. So there are lots of reasons why English is difficult for kids to learn to read. Another interesting point to make is that the brain that reads an alphabet uses a different area of the brain to a brain that reads kanji. I'll come on to that later. So how do we do this? How do we read? It's a big question. It's that big. Any ideas? How do we do that? Well, actually, I've given you the answer already. The answer is in this box. And it's just been delivered from the rainforest. Amazon. What do you think's in this box? Do you want to see? Show me, let me see. Open the box. So I could ask you to ask me questions, but I think you probably... Do you know what's in here? What do you think? A durian. No, it smells much better than a durian. Your friend and mine, ladies and gentlemen, the human brain. It's just arrived, and I'm glad because it's kind of in my size. So we read with the human brain. It's a fantastic thing. Let's have a look inside this one. Oh, that's interesting. Big Bang. It's obviously a teenager's brain. Oh, it's a butterfly. Because from music we get inspiration, just like we do from stories. So let's put this brain on top of this box for now, because that's very important to us. There we are. So we're born with about 100 billion neurons, and we only ever get 100 billion. Now, I didn't count them all. I'm trusting that there are. And we're actually born prematurely, because when we made the shift from this kind of position to this kind of position, it meant that babies had to be born rather early. So we still have to nurture children for a long time, and the brain is actually still growing and developing after the baby is born. So I thought, how can I express 100 billion neurons? So I thought of it like this. Imagine 100 billion stars. Carl Sagan suggests that there are 100 billion stars in our galaxy. I don't know if he counted them all, but I believe him. And he thinks there's probably 100 billion galaxies in our universe. So probably there are a group of orangutans with a human toy having this kind of seminar right now, somewhere out there. You never know. So a very, very, very long time ago, we all looked like this. In fact, I went to art college, so I used to look like that not so long ago. This is a very, very long time ago. This is a fantastic movie. It's called Quest for Fire. It features proto-humans working out language, and their most valuable thing at the time was fire. He's holding fire. So we've been using fire for millions of years. So that's too far. Let's say a long time ago. Let's go a long time ago to this period of time, about 3,500 years before Common Era, and that's when people started using, what's this? Terrific, well done. So think about that period of time and think about now. What image would you use to represent now? Any idea? It could be anything, but I went for this one. The iPhone. So, and by the way, when the wheel was developed, it originally was used by potters. It was a potter's wheel. So potters gave us wheels. And think about from now to then, let's think of 3 amazing things that those 100 billion neurons have allowed humans to do. Could you just talk with your friends or a little group? Try and think of your top 3 amazing things that human beings have developed or done from then until now. That's 5,500 years ago till now. Any ideas? And then I'll show you my top 3. It's okay. No, it's fine. No, it's okay. What do you think? The brain uses a lot of water, 2% of our body mass, but 25% of the energy that we use. So I thought in this way. I thought about the pyramids. Could have been Angkor Wat, it could have been Borobudur, but just as an example. Did anyone think of the pyramids? Yeah? No? Okay. Trains, right? Did you think of rails? Who thought of rails? Yeah? Brilliant. Come later and you can get a sticker. Did anyone think of electricity? Yes? Yep, great, well done. Man on the moon? No? Yes? No, maybe? Well, more than these amazing things, I think, is language. Without language, we couldn't have done any of those other things. And in addition to that, we cannot forget literature. By literature, I really mean reading and writing. So, as humans, we're born to speak. We're born to hear. We're born to read. We're born to walk. But we're not born to read. Learning to read and write doesn't come naturally, like learning to walk, talk, and so on. Each new generation has to acquire the skills by conscious application. Reading is a complex process. When I titled this presentation, I was thinking of calling it Reading is a Complex Process, but I thought after lunch, no one's going to come back for this. So that's why I gave it a more snappy title. So, the brain. Brainstem deals with heart rate, breathing. Parietal lobe, spatial awareness, touch. Occipital lobe, sight. Frontal lobe, planning, personality, emotional control. Cerebellum, balance and coordination. And if you look at the brain, there is no place specifically for reading. So what we do is get together other circuits. We link other circuits of our brain that enable us to read. So our task as teachers, in the reading sense, is to turn this experience into this experience. And this is how we do it. The Oxford Read and Imagine, Level 1, Rainforest Rescue. This is one of the stories that we've just read. Can you remember the name of the boy, number 1 there? Brilliant, yeah, that's Rosie's brother. And of course, he says, hello, my name's Ben. Rosie is Ben's sister. Can you remember the gentleman number 3? Hello, my name's Rosie. So yeah, that's Grandpa. What was the name of the robot? Great, well done. And do you remember the name of Rosie's friend? Alice. Great, well done. So, we read that story, and after reading a story, I sometimes like to use these sequences to help students retell the story. We're going close to time, so I'm not going to do that now. So first, what happened, next, after that, finally. The books are beautifully put together. At the beginning, you have the story part, and then you have an activity section at the back. There are symbols. The books are linked to the Cambridge portfolio exams. So many of the activities are specifically related to Cambridge exam type questions. There is also a project section. Draw a picture of orangutans, then read about them. And of course there's a picture dictionary. I really like this feature because the second volume of the Oxford English Dictionary is 20 volumes with 171,000 words, 47,000 defunct words, and 9,500 derivatives. So if you give your students that kind of amount of language to learn, it's kind of an impossible task. So this is just right. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, a few words at a time, it's just right. Not too much, not too little. So that's Rainforest Rescue, Oxford Read and Imagine. This is a fictional series. There are activities at the back of the reading book and an additional activity book. Now what's really cool about the series, Oxford Read and Imagine is a fictional series. The readers are connected to a factual series called Oxford Read and Discover. So Rainforest Rescue at level 1 matches with fruit. And fruit also has an activity book. Now, as I said, I have spent most of my career working with young learners. That's me on the left, by the way. I think we're singing One Little Monkey, Five Little Monkeys, Four Little Monkeys, Three Little Monkeys. I think I'm the little monkey on the left. This is a festival, and I'm in the bottom picture, I'm the short one on the back row. Yes, it definitely is me. But now I teach in a private junior and senior high school, and I teach art and English. It's a CLIL type program, content and language integrated learning. My students study English through drawing pictures and making art. And I wanted to feature this now because the project that we're doing right now is a project on fruit. So we use YouTube to do some input on drawing three-dimensional objects, and then we bring in some fruit. And the students make fruit, which is their assessed project. This is just literally this week. So the fruit that they've made with the clay, we will be painting next week. And a book like Fruit, to me, is terrific because I can just go to the resource and everything's done for me. These are two students working in a pair. So they've worked through the activity book and now they're checking each other's answers. So it's a reading-based series, but it can be used as a speaking resource too. Oxford Reader Discover. There are 6 levels, and the subjects are split between, on the left there, the world of science and technology. Fruit is included in that. The natural world, the world of arts and social studies. So the theme of this year's conference is blended learning. Electronic teaching can enrich life learning, but it can't be a substitute. Inside and outside school, children need human interaction and hands-on activities more than second-hand experiences on screen. So we're entering a kind of very exciting new age, if you like. In the 15th century, people discovered that you could print text, which made knowledge a lot more egalitarian. Lots of people could get access to printed text. In a similar way, the digital world opens up lots of possibilities for us in the future. But my take on this is that we shouldn't be rejecting the traditional roles of toys, drawing, songs with children, because those kind of activities nurture brains in a very special way. Just rush through this. Books are staged. This is a selection of level 1, and we read Rainforest Rescue, linked with fruit. Level 2, level 3, obviously, level 4, level 5. Now, I want to go to level 2, the activity book for a title, and I want you to try and guess the title. Look at these pictures from the picture dictionary at the back. Can you guess the title of this next story? What do you think? Patterns, stripes, shapes, hide. Good idea? Good idea? Yes? Fantastic idea. So all these ideas are great. So we're rewarding the contribution. Actually getting the right answer, it doesn't really matter. But it matters that students and people, kids, are making a contribution. Good idea. Not exactly. I'm going to give you a hint. Pardon? Brilliant. Well done. Excellent. Well done. Yeah. This is Oxford Reader Discover, fact-based study. So what is camouflage? Animals use camouflage to hide. They use their colour or their shape to hide. Sometimes you can't see the animals. Can you see the fish? Where is the frog? What animal is hiding in the tree? This tiger is using camouflage to hide in the grass. The tiger has fur on its body. The fur has stripes. The stripes help the tiger to hide in the grass. I love this kind of stuff because we, as much as possible, don't worry, it's not real. Imagine you've got a festival and you wanted to do a show and tell. You could do it with fruit or drawing or an animal like this. And this one paragraph would make a very nice presentation for a child to read at a festival type situation. And then another child could read about the birds and the spiders. So I'm going to leave him there. There you are. And here's a stick insect. It looks the same as a small stick. At night, it eats leaves. What does it do at night? In the day, it hides on plants and you don't know it's there. What does it do in the day? Good. Well, as a special treat, I brought a couple of stick insects back with me from the rainforest. I'm dying to show you. Would you like to see? Yes. Brilliant. What do you say if you want to see in the box? Show me, show me. Let me see. Open the box. Now, if we had time, I'd have a student do this. Excuse me, brain. Okay. Now, don't worry, I put the gloves on, not for my protection, to protect the stick insects. You know, when I came through Gimpo Airport yesterday, with my orangutan, my tiger and my stick insects, I was so worried that they would ask me to open my suitcase. Are you ready? Fantastic. Here they are, beautiful. Wonderful. Aren't they great? You see, I've got a pair here. You have to be very careful. This is the female. See the female? The female is larger than the male. This is the male. Aren't they wonderful? I'm going to leave them here because they're completely harmless. What do they do in the day? Yeah. Fantastic. So they'll probably go off and hide and we can find them later. Wonderful. Great. Yes. Now, this is a section from the activity part. Stick insects, you have to link the left side to the right side, as we do with our brains. In the book that has a colour picture, there are 2 pages for each 2 pages. In the activity book, there is 1 page for each 2 pages. Now, look at the picture dictionary from the activity book. Look at those 8 pictures. Can you guess what those 8 pictures describe? Any ideas? No? No? Okay, I'm going to show you. Good. What's the first one? Top left? Next to it is and next. Bottom left. Next. Next. Good, well done. What were they again? Top left? Good. 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 Bottom left? Good. 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 Good, because if you're doing this in class, the further challenge would be to spell them correctly. So I think the books are great because you don't have to start at page 1 and then work through to the activity page. But you could start off with a picture dictionary page, look at the actual answers, try and remember them, close the book, and then see if you can remember them. And you can use these kind of activities for review, and you can even use the activity book for a kind of test scenario. These are other examples. You can have a look on the stand before you leave today. Please do. Camouflage, activity book from Oxford Read and Discover. There we are, camouflage from the natural world section of the series. Now, this is a terrific idea that my student made, Rio's idea. She's a student from Osaka in Japan. And as she reads a book, she uses the post-its to record the words that are new to her. In this text, it was Johnson's everything interesting. And I can see that I need to give her a longer post-it so that she doesn't have to split the words. So she uses this system, which I think is great. And then at the end of the story, or at the end of the page, she takes her post-its and sticks them into her notebook and asks for help or copies them. I think this is a great idea developed by a student. Another idea I want to share, I was going to use the green paper from my stick insect, but I can see one of them's pooped on it, so I won't use that. Some students find text very distracting and find it difficult to follow along the lines. If you use something like this, a screener, students can use something as simple as that to help them move from left to right. I worked with a student once and she found it so difficult that even this was confusing for her. So in the end, we cut a strip in a piece of paper, just the width of a sentence, and she was able then, with this, to work through the story. I don't know how you set up your reading sessions. Some teachers advocate using, you know that wooden stick you get in Starbucks to stir your sugar, like a lollipop stick. There's a brilliant series in the UK called Read Write Ink, Ruth Miskin's series. She does pair work, pair reading. So one student is holding the stick to denote the position on the page, and the other student is reading. Great idea. Yeah. Oh, is that 2 o'clock nearly? It is, isn't it? Okay. Levels 1 to 6 have that fantastic fiction and non-fiction partnership, 2 titles at each. Early starter, starter and beginner don't have the non-fiction section, but they're great stories. A great introduction to level 1. Now, because we're kind of running out of time, I'm going to skip very fast. The end. First, and then again this part. Now, mind time. Now, I was going to invite someone up. Daniel, could you help me? Would you mind? Yeah. Dan, could you come and mind this for me? Sure. Great. Grab the steps. Don't be careful with the waterfall because those steps are wet. Now, don't. Would you? Good afternoon. It's lovely to meet you. Fantastic. How do you do? I'll introduce you to Bobby later.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Could you,
sure,
without ruining your career,
okay,
mind this activity?
This activity?
Yeah, this activity.
Okay, not the title of
No, we can do that later. Yeah, good question.
Okay, how much time do I have?
Oh, about 30 seconds. If you know, shout it out. Fantastic. Round of applause. Great. Awesome. Yeah. So the activity is skateboarding. But what I want you to do is guess the title. 10 minutes. Okay, that's great. Can you guess the title? Sorry? Shout out, shout out. Could be. You see, if we just give you the answer, we deny the possibility. We're activating student knowledge right now. So we could put you into teams, you could write it down, I could help you spell, and we could share that information. And because we're running out of time, I'm going to tell you the answer. The title is, you want to know now, don't you? See, I hope I've created the desire to know, rather than just telling you, and you would just say, oh, that's the title. Too fast. Who thought too fast? Good. Shout it out to me. Great. So here's the story. Each book begins with a review of the characters. In this story, we've got on the left there, on the right, Ben's friend Max and Flip, a boy in the park. Watch this, says Ben. He rides his skateboard and Max watches. The 2 boys are in the park. Ride your skateboard too, Max, says Ben. But Max says, I'm not very good at skateboarding. Don't go too fast, says Ben to his friend. Okay, says Max, and he rides his skateboard. How's this, he asks. Great, says Ben. But a tall boy is laughing at Max. Who's that, Max asks Ben. His name's Flip, says Ben. He's great at skateboarding, but some boys are scared of him. Flip rides his skateboard fast. Can you do this? Asks Flip. Can you do this, by the way? Max wants to go fast too. You're going too fast, Max, says Ben. Stop. But Max can't stop the skateboard. Stop! I'm sorry, your part. Stop! He falls and hits his leg. Max, are you okay? Asks Ben. Rosie and Grandpa are in the park too. Rosie is learning to roller skate. She sees Max. Grandpa, look, she says. Quick, Clunk, says Grandpa. Please go and help Max. You can ride this. It's my new skateboard. There's an engine on Grandpa's new skateboard, so the wheels go very fast. Soon Clunk is with Max. He looks at Max's leg. Can you stand up? Asks Clunk. Yes, says Max. Great. Flip picks up Grandpa's skateboard, he looks at the wheels and the little engine. This skateboard is fantastic, he says. How fast can it go? I don't know, says Ben. My grandpa makes a lot of great new toys. Flip puts one foot on the skateboard. I want to ride it, he says. Is that okay? No, says Ben. Please go and ask my grandpa. But Flip starts the skateboard with his foot. Stop, shouts Cluck. Obviously with a class, you wouldn't be reading this fast. You would be going at an appropriate pace for the students. And you wouldn't necessarily cover the whole story in the same class. You'd maybe need a couple of pages. You have the option of then going to the activities at the end, or reading the... You can't hear. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's because I'm over there. So I start again. So you have the option of going, reading some pages, and thank you, and going to the activities, or reading the whole story, and then coming back and doing a couple of pages. My inclination is to read the whole story with the class first, and then go back and do bit by bit. Because we become proficient at skills like skateboarding or reading through repetition. And a very important role for us is to make the repetition fun. Flip is going fast. I love this, shouts Flip. It's great. He's happy. There are two children on bikes on the path. They see Flip on the skateboard. Don't hit us, shouts one of the children. Flip wants to stop the skateboard, but he can't. The skateboard is going very fast, and Flip isn't happy now. He's scared. He's coming too close to Rosie and Grandpa. Jump, Grandpa, shouts Rosie. Da, 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 da. Rosie and Grandpa jump from the path to the grass. There's a blue button on the skateboard. Grandpa shouts, hit it with your foot, but Flip can't hear Grandpa. He's going in a big circle now. Ben and Max are watching Flip too. Oh no, says Ben, the skateboard's taking Flip where? To the park gates. But there's a big road with lots of cars there, says Max. I'm sorry, we're out of time. Do you want to know what happens next? I hope you do. Okay. Help, shouts Flip. Max runs to his skateboard. He jumps on it. He goes very fast down one ramp and then up again. Then he jumps up with the skateboard. Now at this point, I would like you to all do the Star Wars music. Da, 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 da. What do you think happens next? Any ideas? I've only got 5 minutes, so I'll move on. Obviously, I say obviously, as you read the book, before you turn the next page, you're going to ask the students what they think. They need to predict what happens next. And if it's the second time or third time you're reading the story, you're going to ask them what they remember happened next in the story. You can have the students make alternative endings too. Max jumps at Flip and pushes him. Now Grandpa's skateboard isn't going to the park gates, it's going to the pond. Splash! Flip hits the water. Fantastic. Happy ending. Max pulls the tall boy from the pond. Flip is wet, but he's okay. Thank you, he says. Grandpa and Rosie came to the pond too. Is your skateboard okay, Flip? Asks Grandpa. Yes, Grandpa, but don't take it again. It isn't your skateboard. I'm sorry, says Flip. He looks at Max. I want to learn that jump. Can you help me? Max is happy. Okay, he says. So it's brilliant, because through this experience, Flip has found a friend. So, sorry to rush this, but when a story is told well, we listen in a special way. I don't just mean told by the voice, but told in terms of the way it's written. Entering the story ourselves. Didn't you feel like you wanted to be Max and help Flip? Did you feel a little bit, even as grown, that you wanted to be there? Our imaginations are fired up. We connect psychologically, emotionally, intellectually. We are there. I'm going to close down very quickly now. I wanted to make a link between because the pair for this is a book called Wheels. And we started with the development of the wheel 3,500 years before Common Era. This is a beautiful drawing that the Sumerians made. Our language is kind of linked to the Sumerian language, but that's for another day. Human beings have always found ways to tell stories in lots of different ways. It is because of the social and the need to effectively manage social interactions that we develop stories made for the cognitively complex humans that we are. It is our stories that make us human. Thank you for listening. Just to review the series, the activities in the back give you a chance, students organise information into charts. There's a chance for sequencing, correcting, solving puzzles, personal opinions, writing notes. Oxford Read, Imagine, it's on the table at the back. Oxford Read and Discover. Help your students develop confidence and proficiency in reading, writing, listening, speaking, and critical thinking skills. I'm sorry.
Mr. Churchley,
I'm sorry.
so sorry, but you
Greg,
actually have an important phone
I'm
call.
so sorry, Greg.
Sorry,
I
very
do-
sorry.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
I better take this now. I should take this now. Hello? Well, I'm a bit busy, actually. Oh, no way! Oh, thank you. Now, that's amazing. That's incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just had an important call to say that we may have located Bobby's mum. I think we can go to a link. Bobby, it's okay. Oh, here she is. Did we see that from the beginning? Yes. Did we see it from the beginning? No. Okay. It's a magic trick. So he puts the object into the cup, he shakes it, he secretly takes it out of the cup, and it's gone. Fantastic. Isn't that great? Thank you. So, just a point to show that, to re-emphasize that humour, like stories, connect us to each other. And the humour actually connects us to species. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry for the overtime. You've been a fantastic audience. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.